Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Good afternoon. If we could take our seats, please. All right, good afternoon. My name is Jacqueline Berry, and I'm a professor in the Department of Psychology right here in the Walid Building. I'd like to welcome you all to the first campus conversation of the 2024-2025 academic year with the theme, A New Year Ahead. With me on stage is University President Dr. Ahmad Dallal and University Provost Dr. Ahmad Abdel-Rahman, as well as several senior university leadership sitting near the front. I have to say, having usually watched these events from afar, that they are quite a delight. They are informative and open-ended and very useful forum for members of the community, members of both campus communities, to communicate with the university senior leadership. These campus conversations are also interactive, which is where I think their real value lies. It's not one open-ended. It's a platform by which we can come together and most importantly, talk about the academics, events, and the people which make up this very special place in Egypt, in North Africa, and in the region. President Dallal and Provost Abdel-Rahman will begin our conversation with brief updates about major projects taking place on campus and also other news. Following that, we will proceed with live questions from the audience as well as questions that have come in from online. At various points, I will refer to the senior leadership, asking them questions as appropriate. Inshallah, we will have time to address all of the live and submitted questions before ending at 10 minutes to 2 p.m. So without further ado, I will pass the floor to President Dallal, who will welcome us to a new academic year and briefly speak on matters related to the Strategic Priorities Roadmap, the Campus 2026 and Tri-Lab, donor outreach and support, as well as, on a more somber note, the October 7th anniversary next week, hosting visiting faculty, and the Palestinian Endowed Scholarship Fund. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not good at speaking briefly, but I'll do my best.
We know that.
First of all, would like to welcome, of course, all of you and whoever is watching remotely to the new academic year, which is up to a very busy start. We are doing what, thinking of the year ahead, and we have been thinking of the year ahead. We need to continue the work that we've started over the last 3 years, and there's quite a bit of work that we started over the last 3 years on three consecutive fronts. First of all, if you remember, we took a step back, we theorized, we conceptualized, we tried to identify our strategic priorities, to identify the areas in which we want to work, and to begin to make progress towards these areas. And there's quite a lot of work that has been done on this front. I will say a couple of things in this regard in a minute. Then we have internal work to do in terms of the efficiency of our operations and how good we are in our operations. And there is a lot of work that has been done. There is a lot of work which is already underway, currently also is underway. And hopefully there will be significant results, as a culmination of this work. I will say a couple of words about this. And then the third axis is we had to manage a range of challenges, external challenges, whether it's the financial challenge that the country faced for a while, or now the regional challenge, and there's quite a bit that we've done on this front as well. I will not be able to speak comprehensively and exhaustively about any of these topics, but let me say a couple of words, especially about the first one.
Yeah.
We've identified 4 pillars for our strategic, that define our strategic approach in our work. One is a student-centered approach to enhancing the way we engage with our students, we recruit them, the experience that we provide to them, and there's a lot that was done on this front, and the provost, if you want, can talk about that. We haven't really orchestrated. The second area is the academic excellence, but academic excellence has a very specific meaning in our case. There are multiple initiatives that we've started. Some of these initiatives, by the way, are embodied in the Campus 26 projects, the 3 major projects that we've identified and we're working on. And the next couple of years are going to be very busy years. There'll be construction and so on. There is no good work that goes unpunished. Now we've identified priorities, we are working on them, but we have to deliver now. And that's a big challenge, of course. It's a lot of work. And that's something that's going to be with us in the next few years. So there is a lot of work that has been done in identifying the 3 projects: access, housing that provides better access for students from the provinces and students, international students and students with limited from challenged socioeconomic background; the TriLab, which is a way of translating knowledge and serving our societies through the translation of knowledge, through creating, real-life solutions to real-life problems, but also providing employment opportunities and creating jobs. And the third one is targeting the future of work, training people beyond the degree so that they could transform their own careers and also contribute more efficiently to their societies. These are projects that are tangible, that are material, but there is a programmatic component to each of these projects. There is a leap of faith, there is a commitment by the institution to serve in these areas. There's a lot of work which is being done also on the academic front, the programs of the future, the clusters that we're focusing on, and so on and so forth. And maybe the provost can address some of these, hopefully, in his remarks. But there is a lot of work which is being done on the academic front. And in terms of addressing our strategic priorities, which we articulated, we've embarked on delivering them. The 4th strategic priority, if you will, the 4th pillar, is service. And just a quick overview of the types of programs that we've introduced in the last couple of years, the type of service that we provide to our society and our community, whether it's the UCCPs and UCCDs, in pretty much all national universities, or the climate education, the Pioneers program, which is in partner with 11 national universities, or the partnership grant with the Ministry of Higher Education. There are many more examples. So on all of these fronts, we've been achieving a lot of progress. We can talk a lot about any of these, but I'll leave it at this point, because I really, I'm pretty sure there are questions, there needs to be room for discussion afterwards. In terms of operational efficiencies, we've been really, we've talked a lot and we've delivered a lot, but there is still a lot more that needs to be done. Bottom line is, we need to ensure that our operations live up to our intellectual potential, and that will never happen automatically. That's always a struggle, a daily struggle. If we don't keep our eyes on working on the institutional efficiencies, we will not be able, we'll slip, and we cannot afford to do that. We are undertaking major work, and our internal operations should be on par with the major work that we are undertaking. There's a lot of work that we've done, but suffice it to say now, there is very serious advanced work in restructuring operations and management, and also on restructuring the IT function, so that we're better able to deliver in a more systematic way. But before getting there, as I said in my very first days, and this remains my commitment, before asking our community to give back to the institution, I will demonstrate at every possible point that this institution is committed to our community. So it's a two-way relationship, and I think we've achieved quite a lot on this level. On the third topic, and again, I'm sorry I have to be brief. You're looking at me unapprovingly. But the last point, look, we've had to weather the financial challenges. And I think there is no ideal solution for the financial challenge, not for us, not for the country. But I think we've managed fairly well in managing the financial challenges that we face, in managing our financial operations, and in supporting our students and our employees. I think we've done fairly well. I am the first to submit that there is no perfect solution for this, but it's been a priority. We worked on it and we delivered, however partially, but we delivered on these fronts. The other major challenge, and by the way, the financial challenges is not off yet. I hope that will be a period of stability. There is reason to believe that at least for a period of time we'll have a period of stability, but we have to remain diligent to make sure that we are supporting our community as well as we can, and that we have a balanced budget, that we have a healthy financial operation. The other major challenge now that's been with us for a next week will be we would have had the regional war for a year, a war that has been destructive and devastating in so many ways. And now, of course, in my own home country, there is another level of destruction and brutality which is unfolding. This is a situation that we will have to live with. I don't expect any quick resolution for this situation. Our primary job as an academic institution is to do what we can to support on the academic front, and we have. Of course, everything that we've done so far is small compared to the extent of the devastation and the trauma that is affecting our societies. But we will do our best, and we will work on 3 consecutive fronts. We've started already supporting students, for example, supporting students and faculty from Gaza. We're hosting close to 9 faculty members from Gaza, and we've admitted 18 students from Gaza, the students who were able to make it to Egypt and who qualified to enter the university. We supported them, we admitted them, of course, and we provided them with full support. 18 is nothing. We're talking about 2.4 million people who are living in a disastrous situation. But it's the best we can do, and we will continue to make an effort to expand our intervention on this front. We're starting a campaign to raise an endowment and also emergency funds to be able to support additional students as we move forward. But we're working very systematically. There are other small pieces that I can talk about later, if you will. But intervening in academia as much as we can to support our students. The 2 other fronts, whether related to the regional situation, the 2 other fronts is to be part of a network, to engage with a variety. We are partnering with the Scholars at Risk program, which is an offshoot of the State Department. We're partnering with the Middle East Studies Association, anyone, so that we could enhance our ability to deliver support to so being part of a network and intervening wherever we can. This is the other level. Trying to build an endowment, and we're working very hard on building an endowment that will enable us to continue this support in perpetuity, and finally setting a model for what can be done. When the dust settles, if and when it settles, and I really don't know when it will, but when the dust settles, there will be 2.4 million Palestinians in Gaza who are in dire situation, who will need support. And we're setting a model, small as it is, that hopefully will help other people, think of constructive ways of contributing to building a better future. One thing we cannot do, we cannot allow ourselves to be crushed under this current situation. We have to think of the future. And there is no better place to think of future than in education.
Thank you. That's perfect. Provost?
Thank you, Jackie, and I hope that would not convince you to change your career, because we like you as a professor of psychology. So, welcome everyone. I'm glad to be with you today. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is our enrollment this year. It was another challenging year to bring in another high caliber students to EUC. The total, we received almost 7,500 applications. I'm approximating, by the way. Out of those, we admitted 1,170 students this year. The change of our financial support system from mainly a need-based to a merit and need has started to pay off by getting more high-caliber students at EUC, and that's our goal. Of course, the financial challenges that we are facing are affecting our effort to do so, but we will continue in making sure that we bring the best of the best to AUC. This year, we worked collectively. Many people worked actually in making sure that we get the right students and the right number to EUC, led by Dr. Ahmad Dallal, of course. But I also would like to extend my thanks to VP Amir Habib and Vice President Dina Abul Futuh for their help on daily basis when we met on daily basis to look at the admission data and the enrollment data to make sure that we're getting the right students at EUC. And I would say that operation this year was very successful in getting what we really wanted to get when it comes to admission. Also, international students have been increasing. steadily, but not with the same rate that we want to. We want to accelerate on that part. We want to bring the international students back to EUC. As you may remember, people who were here before 2011, we enjoyed having 20% plus international students on campus, and we want to get that number back. That's the goal, is to go back and get that number 20% plus back to EUC. I think now we're around, in total, around 10%. But so we're getting there, but we still need to do a lot of work on that front. This last year has witnessed, as the President Dallal mentioned, that EUC went a lot beyond our walls, and we worked a lot with the Egyptian government, with the Egyptian universities, and with Africa as well. And I want to give example on our work beyond the walls of AUC by reaching out to the workforce in Egypt to upskill, and reskill the workforce of Egypt. The extended education, and I mean by that the ESS in engineering, science and engineering, the executive education in the School of Business and the School of GAP, and as well as the School of Continuing Education, have brought in revenue to the university double of that of 2022. So we doubled our revenue of 2022 in FY 2023 in FY 24, which is really good number. That came also with an increase in the enrollment. Our goal is actually to work more with Egypt and the workforce in Egypt to enhance the quality of the workforce in Egypt. We have 3 main initiatives this year that we will be working on very closely. One is Hospitality and Tourism Academy, in order to prepare the workforce in Egypt in that sector for the expansion in the tourism sector in Egypt. Also, another academy that we will establish this year is the Technician Academy, to improve the quality of the work of technicians. I'm talking about one main sector now, which is the construction industry, but we will expand to other industries as we see fit. And the third initiative that we will be working on, and now CLT with the School of Hus are working on it very closely, is to prepare self-paced online training courses to the 1.5 million teachers in Egypt in Arabic. Our goal is to offer those courses for free, to enhance the quality of teachers, governmental teachers in Egypt. The work is being done now, and I hope that we will be launching those courses very soon to train the teachers. This actually followed the success of the Road to College, and I'm sure you know what is Road to College. This is 12 courses of English that we put online. We developed at EUC, and they are now online. And to enhance the English proficiency, mainly for middle school and high school students, but actually it has been taken now by many people from our community and beyond the Egypt too. We launched the Road to College actually in February 2023, so almost a year and a half. Today, we have almost 500,000 students on that portal. 500,000, imagine that. And again, we do not market for it. We do not advertise for it. So the enrollment is really good, and we need to continue to work on improving that program. We're adding more courses to that program, other life skills to the program other than English, and I'm sure that it's going to be another success story. And I hope actually the teacher training will be as successful as the Road to College. As you may know, October 10th is the Mental Health Day, and the President has actually initiated a mental health and wellness initiative a couple of years ago. And if I may ask Dean Jorgen to give us a brief on where are we on that and on the mental health initiative.
Thank you, Provost. As stated, October 10th is Mental Health Day, but what we are doing different this year is what we're launching is Wellness Days, which will start in October, and I've already started. There was a nutrition event and a sporting activity on the plaza, but we'll really kick off after the October 10th, with several events throughout the month going into November. So there will be a run around AUC organized by some clubs and organization, as well as through the athletic program. We're starting a walking group that we will hopefully be advertising for. And the key component of our effort is one of the things that the task force that's working on well-being has identified is that the information was scattered. So we'll be launching on October 13th a website that will host all information about all well-being support services, initiatives, programs, opportunities on this campus, with information that, specific to students, staff, and faculty for ease of searching and identifying the support services. We hope that this website will actually be an engaging website, one where we will encourage you to interact with it and visit routinely, so that as new programs and events and services are introduced or highlighted, you also have an opportunity to learn more about what is available to you. We started with a very small group as part of the task force, but very quickly we hope to extend beyond that and find out what it is that's happening in your various areas that may fall under these well-being initiatives that we can highlight, support, and provide models for others to emulate as well. So keep an eye out for the announcement, and really engage everyone in participating and going to these pages, both the events, but the programs, the services, everything from the clinic to access to the fitness classes and everything, so that we can start to first be well-informed. Well-being is about making shifts in lifestyle. And so we want to make sure that all of us are equipped with the tools to make the shift that we feel is necessary for our lifestyles.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so if it's okay with our host, speaking of mental health, I'd like to take the first question from what came in online. We all know that exercise is good for mental health, and one of the students wanted to know when the paddle courts were going to be built. When are the paddle courts going to be built?
Jorgen.
So we are hopefully working on it as we speak. I know they're trying to get the land flattened out and everything, so behind schedule a little bit, but the plan is very much to have them this semester. And trust me, we'll make a big announcement when they're ready for use.
Okay, great, thank you. What questions now? I'd like to turn to the live audience to see what questions people have. We'll get a microphone to you. Anyone? Surely someone has a question. We want to talk about parking. Oh, someone has a question. Go right ahead.
Actually, it's not a question. It's like clarification of three things that the president mentioned in the last campus conversation about the reduction of staff. The first thing is that you specifically noted that well-compensated staff will be there in the place of the people who's leaving. But actually, it happened in my department and in our school that 2 left and there was no compensation. And when I asked an elderly in the school, he said that, or the word was said that you already have work to do from 8 to 4, so why need compensation? That's what you're assigned to work from 8:30 to 4. So I want a clarification of what were you thinking of well-compensated staff in that situation? And can I add 2 more things, please, if nobody's wants to ask anything? Other thing, there was a rumor in the School of Science and Engineering that 25 people will be reducted or have a limited contract till December, although there were 9 new jobs were offered in the same week. So I just want to know how come that you're reducing people and then there are 9 jobs will be offered, new ones. And that's something else. The other one, or the final one, is the clarification about if somebody wants to promote, he needs to go into another job. From my opinion, this one is a very hard to be done, to start a new job in a new school or anything, because each school has something that's unique in itself. So if I want to be promoted in the same school that I'm in, I need to go to another one to learn new things, learn about new laws in the new school and new ideas about the new school and leave mine. So I wanted to know why not have two persons in the same job, a junior and a senior, and then when the senior leaves, the junior takes the senior in the same department or the same school, because nobody starts, no one's burned.
Got you. Let me
Thank
answer
you.
your questions.
Thank you.
You have quite a few questions there, and it's not my fault if I take time. You know, on the AUC's workforce is inflated. It's almost double peer institutions. The number of people working at this institution is almost double what other peer institutions have, institutions which in fact are much more resourceful than AUC. We've made a decision to reduce the workforce by a very shy 10%, not more than that, and to rely primarily on vacancies, not renewing, not filling vacancies and so on and so forth, and retirements and so on. So not rely on firing people or anything of the sort. It's a very shy move. It's a very shy move. And what I suggested all along is that the direction for the future is to have better compensated but less numbers, better compensated staff members but less numbers. I think we can fairly argue that in the past few years we've been focused on better compensating our staff to meet the challenges of the evaluation and so on and so forth. So we've been working on that. The reduction in the workforce is very shy, is very small. We still need to do more to be efficient. We're not going to mandate a reduction after we finish this cycle, the second-year cycle, but I'm encouraging everyone to consolidate jobs it's really up to the units. I cannot determine what's going to happen in every single unit, but I'm encouraging everyone across the university to think of consolidation of jobs with better compensation. But this is the baseline. The baseline is the reduction of the workforce is a very shy move. Let me answer the third question first, or the second question. The second question, which one was about promotion? The second, promotion. Promotion. Yes, I am the one who stopped promotions at AUC. Promotion leads to a deformity in the workforce. You create a job to address a certain function. And then you promote the person, and then you have to bring someone else to do the job that they were doing. And the workforce, this is partly why our workforce is inflated, and we have almost double what other institutions have. Because we have this abnormal promotion system, and because we were using promotion in the place of merit reward. We should have, and we actually have instituted in my tenure here, during my tenure, every year there's been a significant, we should have a viable merit reward system, not promotion system. Because people are hired to do a certain job. If you promote them, then someone else has to come in and do their job. And quite often, you know what we do? One of the very first things that I observed and noticed when I came to AUC, I look at job titles and I don't understand what people do. So I ask them, beyond your job title, can you explain to me what is it that you do? Because we were creating job titles so that we could promote people artificially, not because of the need of the institution. Now promotion is always possible. We should have a merit reward system. We should reward people for their work. That's not promotion. That's reward. That's reward for the work. And we've instituted a merit reward system, and we're applying it consistently and systematically and increasingly. First year and then second year, and now this third year, the third cycle, budget cycle that I've been involved in, we've increased the salaries quite significantly. And we also look at equity and counter offers where appropriate and so on. But a promotion system creates a deformity in the workforce. It creates a deformity. We will reward people in different ways. Now, if there is a vacancy and it's a vacancy for a job that exists, for a job that is needed, and someone has the qualifications, they can apply for it and get it if they have the qualifications for it. That is promotion. But that is promotion which is guided by the needs of the institution, not an automatic entitlement simply because someone has worked for a number of years. That creates deformity in the workforce. It has created deformity in our workforce, which we're trying to address and solve.
Thank you.
And remind me, the third point is? I have no idea. Do you know? Just very quickly on this point, you know, the reduction in the workforce didn't stop us from recruiting for vacancies that are still needed. So some of the vacancies are not needed and can be closed, but other vacancies are still needed. And so we're not trying to affect the ability to meet our job requirements. So it is very possible, although I don't know the specific case, maybe the provost knows, it is very possible that in the same unit, you're recruiting, but you're also closing some positions which are no longer needed. They don't contradict each other. But
Do
I'll
you
let
have-
the provost address the specific.
Yeah, do you have more to add?
That rumor did not reach me yet. So yes, we are, Dean Lutfi Ghaffar has proposed a restructuring plan in the School of Sciences and Engineering in order to reduce the headcount in the School of Science and Engineering. But at the same time, we have vacant positions there. I'm not sure of the numbers really. I'm not sure if there are 9 or 25, but I asked him to, the president asked me to cut the headcount by 10%, because I know that that cannot be done uniformly in all units, and I will give examples. I asked deans to cut more than 10%. I asked them to cut 15% from the school headcount. Dean Kamel actually cut more than 15% successfully without affecting his operation, and I think the operation is more streamlined now and efficient. Dean Lutfi cut only 10%, and I'm not sure of the numbers really, how many positions did we eliminate in the SSE, but I assure you that there will be more vacant positions coming in. People come and leave at EUC, and that's normal. Why did I ask the deans to cut more than 15%? Simply because we are growing in some areas, and we cannot close jobs in those areas. We're going more online, a lot more online, with a very fast pace, actually. That means that I need more workforce in the online education unit and the CLT. We are getting more and more grants every day, and we need people to manage those grants at EUC. That means that I have to increase the workforce in the areas where OSP and other support units for our grants. So if I'm increasing headcount in those areas, I have to cut more than 10% in other areas in order to come up with the whole total 10% in the academic area.
Thank you, thank you. Are there other questions from the audience?
Hello, everybody. I'm a newcomer to AUC. I'm just 3 months old. Dr. Dallal definitely knows me. I'm actually asking a question regarding the strategy. Is there a possibility that we are thinking to make AUC bigger? And I'm not talking about expansion in terms of campus only, but I'm talking about number of students. And I'm just saying so because of my previous work. I used to work for the government, and one of the best things that we need, we always see at AUC is the quality of the graduates. And the number of graduates, of university graduates in Egypt is huge. Compared to European countries, even it's like 780,000 graduates. But the real quality graduates that are ready for employability on a global level is actually, number one is AUC. If we have, how many, I'm not sure, it's 1,200, 1,500 graduates every year, how we can make that 10,000, 12,000, 20,000?
Thank you.
From 1,000 to 12,000? Part of the ability of AEC to provide quality education is the faculty to student ratio. It's the kind of quality education that we can provide our students. It's not mass production, in other words. And you know, there are drawbacks. I mean, there are needs, and we have the privilege of not having to deal with the task of absorbing the very large number of students that graduate every year that demand university education. We don't have to attend to this problem, and I only have admiration for the institutions and for the individuals that have to do that sort of work. But our job, historically, has always been to provide quality education and to train certain types of students. So there are no plans to expand and do mass production. Now, if there are additional programs and if there is room for limited and measured, this is a possibility, of course. But by and large, for now at least, and this is subject to further discussions and debates, for now there are no plans to expand significantly the size of the student body.
Thank you.
Maybe the distribution would change, but not the overall size.
Thank you. Any other questions? Right here?
Thank you so much. I'm a graduate student and a student leader as well from Graduate Student Association. My issue is related with AUC Connect in terms of IT. Isn't there a way how we can integrate AUC Connect to incorporate Adastra? Because venue reservation is becoming a nightmare from our side. Why can't we ensure that the venues are available in the AUC Connect real time? Because offices, maybe the office of the provost and the office of the president, they book venues at the beginning of the semester for almost all the rooms. And for us students, when we are going to book, you find the venue is already booked, but it's not actually used. So why can't we incorporate, we ensure that all these venues are available in real time? Because we can integrate this, and it's doable for sure. So as once I log in, I can see available venues, or if you have already booked a day before, you notify the system that, oh, maybe we are not having our event today, then it can update automatically. I think this one will create a seamless, one-stop resolution of the challenge.
Thank you
so
very much. Which would
May
you
I,
like to-
very quickly? First of all, I suffer from the same problem. We want to book, and they're pre-booked preemptively by other units, and there is nothing available, and, I suffer from the same problem, just so that you know. And sometimes we go and bargain with the people who reserve the space that may or may not need it. You're pointing to a very good point, and as a matter of fact, I've asked my office to prepare for me some overview of what's happening with booking across the university. Because you're right, I think you're right. I have to look into it in greater detail. But more broadly, and probably the team here in the front will be able to speak much more intelligently than I can, more broadly, we're revisiting, we need to revisit our space allocation, but also our events planning and so on and so forth. Right now, it's whoever jumps on it first, whoever, you're right, and that's not right. I mean, we should have a better, more intelligent system for doing these sorts of things. So
Thank
do you
you.
want to?
Yeah, would one of you like to address this?
No, I mean, other than you are absolutely right. We are, a group of us, a number of colleagues are looking at the entire, it really starts from scheduling, and then it goes through the entire event management process. So colleagues in management and operations, IT, it needs a comprehensive solution. Part of it will be digital, but part of it are also the rules. So I'm going to take this moment to sort of say, in order for us to have a system like that, we will have to agree as a community that you may only book X number of rooms this far in advance. If you book, 5 times for the same event and you don't use it, you need to be, the system will trigger you to release it. So, and hopefully by next month we'll be able to start some discussions around how to develop. That doesn't mean a solution will materialize next month, but we'll at least be in a place to offer some proposals that we can collectively talk about.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions from the audience? Go right ahead.
Hello. If you could share your benchmark institutions with us. I have seen a benchmark list. I can assure you that any university has more than one librarian, and I'm like the last librarian. 2 years ago when I came, I got my salary for two months, and then it was cut due to devaluation. So if you're down between 15 to 17% on your salary, how do you address this? We also, I don't know if you've looked at your retirement account, but AUC cuts your retirement contribution every time there's a devaluation as well. So how are we going to address these deficits in salaries? Is my only option to apply for jobs, or what is your plan to address these ongoing salary deficits?
Thank you.
Yes. When we hire faculty now, we hire faculty with salary stated in both US dollar and Egyptian pound. So for example, we hire faculty X, we state in his contract or in her contract that his or her salary is $10 and 100 pounds. And with every devaluation happened, that the purchasing power of that 100 pounds decreases. We fully understand that. But at the same time, the $10 is maintaining, at least is maintaining its purchasing power for now. We understand that's an issue for the faculty, but contractually speaking, we did not decrease the salary of the faculty. The salary has been, the purchasing power of the salary has been declined in the Egyptian pound term, or if you convert that total salary into dollars, we understand that the salary became less in dollars, but it also became more in Egyptian pound. That's an issue that we need to look at it. We benchmark our salary, our faculty salary into US universities. So a few years ago, we purchased 3 databases for faculty salaries. And we continue to compare our salaries to those benchmarks. And those benchmarks now is not only in the office of the provost, it's actually institutionalized now, and there is a dashboard that we internally use, and IT has helped us in developing that dashboard. So every year, also in June, we review the salary for every single faculty in the university. And we look at the salary in comparison to a market, in comparison to his or her colleagues in the department with the same rank. Then we sometimes make salary adjustments for faculty. There is every year allocated fund for salary adjustment that we use it to adjust faculty salaries to address the issues related to devaluation, inflation, and also to retention.
Thank you. I think we have time for one, maybe 2 more questions. Anyone else? Do you have a question right here? Yeah. No? Okay. Anyone else? Ah, yes. Let's talk about the parking.
Yes, we do realize that this year there's a spike that's happening with students who come, well, all the community who comes with more cars. We're focusing on collecting data this week and next week to see what the delta is and which constituency is it coming from. We think, but we're confirming via the data, that it's probably due to a lot more families moving out to New Cairo than before. That's eating a little bit from our bus ridership figures. That's not dropping a lot, but there is some year by year. So we're looking at the data. We're going to be doing some short-term measures as well as longer-term measures. One of the short-term measures, one of which is to collect the data effectively, we'll need you to badge in, badge out. Sometimes staff don't badge in because the security guards know them. So we need to please have your badge ready and readily available with you to badge in and out every time. This week and next week, we're looking at measures of some things that we can improve on a short term, as well as some things will take a bit more time that involve more like equipment, procurement, etc., in terms of security systems. So we know that there's a big issue. We need your help to resolve it. And we need your help as well so that you don't park in the wrong areas, blocking entrances or in handicapped spaces, etc. We'll be also revisiting the fine structure that we have, and most likely we'll bump it up so that it becomes a deterrent, so that you don't park in areas that we all shouldn't park in. So we're working on all these fronts at the same time, and we will be communicating something, hopefully by end of this week on that, on the short-term measures, as we're working collectively on the longer ones. And again, this committee here, including IT, is helping us reach solutions that are kind of medium-term and not so long-term to help the issue. But there is an issue, as you observe, and we need all our help to deal with it and to effectively come to good solutions.
Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. So if there's no more questions, just one more quick thing.
On the parking issue, we have 2,500 parking slots on campus for a community of 10,000 people. That's one parking slot for every 4 members of the community. We have a bus transportation system. It obviously needs better management, and we need to work on that. But we have a lot of parking space and we have a bus system. So we need to come up with solutions. And to come up with solutions, we need some data. Part of the delays that you're witnessing today and that you will be witnessing probably in the next few days is because we're trying to collect some data to assess the extent of the problem, where is it coming from, why are we having this particular problem, so that we are better informed when we try to come up with solutions. So please be patient, prepare your IDs if you're driving to campus because they will be checked at entrance, because we need the data. We need the data so that we have intelligent solutions that we could offer. I want to go back also very briefly to the may I?
Yes,
If you allow
briefly,
me.
very briefly.
Okay. To the issue. Look, in the last 3 years, in the last 2 years or 2.5 years, there's been a financial crisis in the country. And it's a financial crisis which is not generated from within, it's a crisis from without. And it has affected every part of the country, including us. We're no different. We're working within, we rely primarily for our budget on tuition, on student tuition. So we had to prioritize, as we were planning ways to mitigate the effect of this crisis, we had to prioritize. And we prioritized, that we've announced over and over again. It's not because not all members of the community are not affected. All members of the community are affected. But the primary members of the community that were affected are, number one, the students. And we wanted to ensure that students are able to continue their education. They're able to continue to come to AUC and afford AUC education. And for that, we mobilized a lot of additional financial aid to make sure that this university continues to operate. That wasn't an easy undertaking, but it's an undertaking that I think we've done quite well. The second community that we prioritized is the staff who are primarily paid or fully paid in EGP, because the impact of devaluation and the impact of inflation on them is much more. I mean, there are people who are not able to make ends meet. So we needed to prioritize this second community, and we tried to do our best. Again, we didn't fully mitigate and eliminate the impact of devaluation, but we tried to come up with solutions. As far as the faculty is concerned, no one is arguing that there is no impact on the faculty. Of course, there is an impact in this current situation, financial environment. There is an impact on everyone, but it's less of an impact on the faculty, who primarily receive the bulk of their salaries in dollars, and that amount, that portion of the salary has gained in terms of its purchasing power, not lost. So yes, you're right. You're right. If you calculate the net income in dollars, it went down, but the net income in EGP went up, and maybe it didn't go up enough to absorb the effect of devaluation and whatever. But again, in the calculus of things, in the overall calculus of things, we had to prioritize as we move forward our students and our employees who are primarily paid in EGP, not to fully mitigate the effect of the devaluation. It is a crisis. It's a crisis that affected everyone. I hope now we can start planning for something beyond this transitional. I hope we'll have enough stability, at least for a period of time, that will enable us not to address transitional situations, but to address permanent setups and figure out what to do as we move forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And with this note, we will conclude the first campus conversation for 2024, 2025, a new year ahead. Thank you very much to President Dallal and to Provost Abdel Rahman. Thank you.